I don't think I've worn a black shirt.
Looks good on you.
I know, it makes me look...
My brain is going to be distracted the whole show, just so you know.
Live. You mean distracted?
Distracted.
Live. Hey, live. Distracted? Just... Blue steel.
Oh my goodness.
Hey, that's Yanny Cam. We got Yanny in there a little bit.
All right, let me know when it's live on Wimkin.
Oh shit. We have a job to do? I was trying to do distraction show.
Apparently it was distraction on my part.
Well, I don't know about that. Maybe. Looking at myself distracts me.
That's true. It's good. We're on.
All right. All right, everybody. Welcome to the Don't Unfriend Me show. Just a little bit of fun before we get started. We've got Kamala Harris. Oh, boy. We're going to do Distraction Podcast. Are we doing the Distraction? Bam!
Yes. You want me to be any good on the show tonight? Probably not, but...
Just okay, fine. No Distraction Podcast. We're covering a bunch of stuff. We had a viewer send in a video. We're going to break it down. Some good stuff. And we got a lot to talk about. This interview, man. I wanted to make sure you guys got to participate. I was going to come on at 6, and we're like, no, you know what? We'll just let her have her moment. And oh boy, did she! It's bad. Yeah, it's bad. Folks, we have a new goal tonight, 200. We are going on our 13th evening in a row of hitting our goal to keep the Don't Unfriend Me show free. We'll be right back. Livy looks lovely tonight in red. I'm wearing a black shirt that, oh God, ran out of time. That's okay, I have control of the switchboard. Wearing a black shirt. I don't think I've ever worn just a black shirt, ever, on this show. Usually there's some sort of thing. I mean, there is a Don't Tread over there, but that's it. Black shirt. I don't know why. I just figured I would tell you. Liv got her new shirt. Show them your new shirt, Liv. Bam! Make women female again. That's so fantastic. All right, folks. We'll see you in 3 minutes. Step into a webcam. Sorry, folks. You know what? We're late. We're Olivia, hit the fast forward button. Wow. That was quick.
Stopped on Yanny.
What's going on, everybody? Matthew Spear from the Don't Unfriend Me show. I am proud to announce that the Documents of Freedom are back in stock. It's a 3-book collection, leather-bound, by Arcadia Publishing. Get them before Christmas, folks. Bill of Rights. And it's the complete edition of the rights. The little elves are working hard. Anything your heart desires. Declaration of Independence with revisions and founder images included. Beautifully illustrated. And last but not least, what would Documents of Freedom be without the Constitution of the United States of America in its entirety? The box is handmade by PFC flags, custom engraving, all 100% made in the USA from the nails to the glue. And we have a 5-star rating, satisfaction guaranteed, 150 sold 5 stars or better. It is so important, especially in today's society, to ensure that the younger generation has these books available in the future. Get them for your family and friends, available right now. Head on over to thedumbshow.com/books. Thanks so much. Right meow.
Howdy, y'all. This is Damani Felder. These are perilous times in American history. And now more than ever, we need individuals who are willing to wage war on the ideological battlefield with like-minded individuals. And I can think of no better place to start than my friends at the Don't Unfriend Me show. So thank you for being here, and enjoy the show.
Adjusting transmitter output.
This is the Don't Unfriend Me show with your hosts Matt, Leroy, Amy, and Olivia. Geopolitics, military analysis, and election coverage. Coming to you live on all major social media channels at The DUM Show. Honest, direct, Unfiltered. We can agree, we can disagree. Just don't unfriend me.
Hey, do you got the kids? Can they come here?
I'm pretty sure they can.
Yeah,
Whistle for them.
Get Ethan. All right, hold on. Everyone, silence, por favor. Thanks a lot for telling me no sound, Liv.
I don't know. I didn't know that.
If you were reading the comments, they were like, no sound. Nope. Welcome to the Don't Unfriend Me show. We had to get my daughter. J-Dog, I got to start that. I know we can't hear me. All right. How long has it been since that's happened? That's been at least a year and a half. We used to do that all the time, remember? Mm-hmm. It's been a long time. J-Dog's like, this is Jonah. Jonah sent me an email at 6:02 p.m. And he's like, hey, here's a 10-minute and 30 video. I got completely addicted to it. Couldn't stop watching it. And I'm like, okay, well, now I got to go write an analysis of what I watched. There it is, 1,200 words. Took me 28 minutes to write this. All for you, Jonah. So tipping lines are open. TheDumbShow.com/donate. Sorry, I muted it up so you guys wouldn't hear me whistle, because Olivia will tell you I have the loudest whistle in 12 counties. Olivia, are you even going to say anything tonight?
Yeah, I'm just doing my normal.
Yeah, I know, but
routine.
we're trying to do the intro to the show and get viewers to stay, and you're like
this. I am getting viewers to stay because I interact with every single one of them.
Okay, here we go. Ask the question of why you're on video. Hey, the Yenny cam is over there. Look at Yenny. She's looking good. I do. Here, watch. We'll just kind of do that, and we can put that right there. The Yenny cam. Look at that, Liv. Isn't that great? Can you not see it?
No, what'd you do?
Look at Yenny.
I see Yenny over my. Oh, you put it up her name.
You're not even.
I see.
It's gonna be one of those nights, folks. The hat may have to come on, and it may need to go backwards. It's
just gonna make it. I told you were distracting.
I know. We were doing the flex, and she's like, man, that shirt looks so good. I'm like, I know. Thanks, appreciate it. I've been working. I'm feeling great. I've been working back out. All right. So anyway, we've got the whole video. We'll show that. We got Kamala Harris. Oh shit, that was reflexes like a freaking elephant. I'll tell you what. We have got Kamala Harris to talk about. I've got some videos to show you. And you know what? I'm going to go without rocking the hat again. I'm enjoying it. I'm just going to leave it. Let's get to this. We've got a lot to do. We have got a lot to do, and we have a short time to get here. But I want J-Dog to know that we're going to spend at least a half hour on that video. And hopefully Olivia will be done typing by then so she can listen.
I will always listen, yes.
That's that. Fact checkers have come back with improbable and needs context as untrue. Fact checkers say no. Just let you know. How was your day today? Did you have a good day today?
Yeah, always.
Good. It's good to see you again.
Went to the library again. It was fun.
You went to the library?
Yeah.
Oh.
It's story time on Wednesdays.
Story time. What stories are we doing?
The theme was spiders today. So,
oh my gosh. How old are these kids?
Well, they're fun, like itsy bitsy spider.
You're going to scar them from life,
and
aren't you?
fun little spider books. So
you're showing them Aragon and, just like, that's great. Special report with Brett Baer, Fox News. You know what? Everyone was like, okay, first of all, everyone hates Brett Baer. I don't know why. Everyone says that Brett Baer is like horrible and he hates Trump. That's not true. He challenges Trump, but good. So do I. He tore after Kamala. I mean, it was it was pretty good. We're gonna watch it right now. Chat's gonna go down, but it's good. Everybody's here. Mel says Yenny looks amazeballs, doesn't she? She's just out. She got there this morning at 7 o'clock, and I came in this room at 9. I slept in, like I was up all night because damn it. My neck, pinched my neck.
I saw the Icy Hot out this morning.
I got the Icy Hot on, and I was like, son of a bitch. And I just, whatever I tweaked last night, and it was keeping me up. So I was up at 6, and I'm like, screw that, no, 5:30. And I was like, screw this, So you woke up, we did our morning routine, and then you popped smoke, and then I was like, you know what? And I pulled the covers up over my ears right to here, which I never do. And when I do that, that means I'm going down. I'm going down for the count. That's letting everybody know that I'm going back to bed. And I didn't wake up till 9:30.
Good for you.
That hasn't happened in years.
Yeah,
like,
you were out when I got out of the bathroom, getting ready to get dressed. I didn't even bother saying goodbye because
I was sleeping. It's working out. That's what it is. It's beating me raw, and I'm trying to get my 6 hours of sleep. Well, your body can't heal, so I needed to go into some repair time. Even take a nap today, which is great. So anyway, let's get to this. We've got a good show for you, and we're going to talk about Kamala Harris. By the way, if you have not had a chance, you can donate at thedumshow.com/donate. That keeps us funded, keeps us going, keeps it free, all for you. Let's go ahead and give this a watch.
We didn't have time for it.
You were banned, but here we go. Anyway, that is it for us. Have a great night, everyone. I'll see you in a few.
Democratic nominee for
on Brett Baer Show after this.
Good evening. I'm Brett Baer. We are coming to you tonight from Washington Crossing, Pennsylvania. We have an exclusive interview with Vice President Kamala Harris, the Democratic nominee for president.
By the way, can I just say she has aged about 10 years in about 10 weeks. She looks like shit.
Yeah, she's probably under a lot of stress. Thank you.
She looks old. Look at this. See if we can show this. Like when she sits down, just watch her.
Good evening. I'm Brett Baer. We are coming to you tonight from Washington Crossing, Pennsylvania. We have an exclusive interview with Vice President Kamala Harris, the
she looks
Democratic nominee for president.
She doesn't look good.
You will see it in its entirety. It is her first formal sit-down interview with Fox News. The vice president held a campaign event with Republicans who support her just before the interview here in Washington Crossing. This is the spot that commemorates or across the Delaware River on Christmas.
Thank you, Amy, for getting us started tonight. $5.65. That is better than a sharp stick in the eye. We appreciate you.
1976, the night before the Battle of Trenton. First, a look at today's other headlines. North Carolina's governor says nearly $100 million in relief aid over recent missed record close. The Democrats' 2 point. And here in Pennsylvania has released that immigration Edge in September. Now, to my exclusive interview with Vice President Harris. Madam Vice President, thank you for the time.
Thank you. It's good to be with you, Brett.
You know, voters tell pollsters all over the country and here in Pennsylvania that immigration is one of the key issues that they're looking at this election, and specifically the influx of illegal immigrants from more than 150 countries. How many illegal immigrants would you estimate your administration has released into the country over the last 3.5 years?
Holy shit, he's not even just waiting. It's just like, it's like jugular time, huh? Going right for her, like cats and dogs. It's pretty.
He's eating the cats. He's eating the dogs.
He's eating the cats. He's eating the dogs.
Let's do it.
To my exclusive interview.
What the shit,
with
Brett?
Vice President Harris. 50 countries. How many illegal immigrants would you estimate your administration has released into the country over the last 3.5 years?
Well, I'm glad you raised the issue of immigration because I agree with you. It is a topic of discussion that people want to rightly have.
Oh, yes.
And you know what I'm going to talk about.
Yeah, but do you just a number? Do you think it's 1 million, 3 million?
Brett, let's just get to the point. Okay,
yes,
the point is
that's what he's
have a broken.
That's what he's asking you to do, lady, is get to the farkin' point. Seriously.
I promise.
Hey, thanks, Bobby.
Beginning to answer.
And when you came into office, your administration immediately reversed a number of Trump border policies.
Thank you, Bobby, so much.
Most significantly, the policy that required illegal immigrants to be detained through deportation, either in the U.S. or in Mexico. And you switched that policy. They were released from custody awaiting trial. So instead, included in those were a large number of single men, adult men, who went on to commit heinous crimes.
Military-age men.
Looking back, do you regret the decision to terminate remain in Mexico at the beginning of your administration?
Say it.
At the beginning of our administration, within practically hours of taking the oath, the first bill that we offered Congress, before we worked on infrastructure, before the Inflation Reduction Act, before the CHIPS and Science Act, before the bipartisan Safer Communities Act, the first bill, practically within hours of taking the oath, was a bill to fix our immigration system.
Yes, ma'am. It was called the U.S. Citizenship Act of 2021.
Exactly.
It was essentially a pathway to citizenship for the... Yes, ma'am.
May I finish responding, please?
But
you have to let me finish,
You
please.
had the White House and the House and the Senate, and they didn't...
Folks, the two bills that she's talking about are H.R. 1, which has nothing to do with anything about immigration, which is more about election and was in response to January 6th. The second is this Reform Immigration Act, which didn't address anything, our Citizenship Act, which really addressed a pathway to citizenship after tonight, Joe Biden went ahead and redlined 91 executive orders from Donald Trump securing the border and opened the border. 100%. This had nothing to do. This is a complete lie, a bold-faced lie. Had nothing to do with stemming illegal immigration. It had to do with a pathway to citizenship, which is not the same thing.
Thank you, Nancy.
Thank you, Nancy Jennings, with your $5 super chat. We appreciate you.
Of responding to the point you're raising, and I'd like to finish.
Yes, ma'am.
Can I finish? Can I finish?
We recognize...
Can I finish? No more new... Can I finish? I'm just an oil billionaire from Texas. Can I finish? Mr. Bush, can I finish? Can I finish? I'm just, golly gee, I'm just telling, can I finish? I swear. This is
I was
Ross,
too young for this
This
one.
is Ross Perot, but it should be like Bro Shalom. I don't know. I can't think of a hood name for her. Whatever. Like if he's Baklava Shwarmi and she's Jamaican and Indian, what should she be instead of Kamala Harris? Can you want to think of something? What's something like Kamala? What's
hang on.
Give me some food that's like Kamala.
Jambalaya horseradish. I don't know.
Holy shit! I like the jambalaya, but where's the horseradish?
Harris. I was just trying to think of something that.
Why don't we do haggis?
Okay.
Because that's like the only nationality she hasn't is Scottish. She hasn't said she's Scottish yet. So we could do jambalaya haggis. Jambalaya haggis. That's her new name. I like it. We had jinsuke, and we had baklava shawarma, and now jambalaya haggis. It's good. It's good. Does anyone know what hammocks is? Haggis is? No? Look it up. It's disgusting.
It's not like liver or something.
Samosa camel toe. Well, that's a little rough.
That to the point of this being your first question, it is a priority for us as a nation and for the American people.
3.5 years. What took you so long?
And our focus has been on fixing a problem. And from day one, then, we have done a number of things, including to address our asylum system and put more resources, getting more
Nancy
judges.
Jennings. Oh.
What we
That
needed
was
to
from
do
the
is to
chat.
tighten up penalties and increase penalties for illegal.
I just said haggis is Scottish. Just a sheep's stomach stuffed with meat and barley. Yeah, I know. It's haggis. Scottish. Or you can say Irish. Say Scottish.
Things. What we need.
Pull the shite out of your ears. My Lucky Charms are magically delicious.
To do to deal with points of entry between border entry points. That's the work we did, and we worked on supporting what was a bipartisan effort, including some of the most conservative members of the United States Congress, to actually strengthen the border.
Bullshit.
That border bill would have put 1,500 more border agents at the border, which is why I believe the Border Patrol agents supported the bill. It would have allowed us to stem the flow of fentanyl coming into the United States.
Fact check. Who supported the bill, Liv? Was it the Border Patrol agents or... Okay.
You're going to have to answer that one.
Leadership in the U.S. Border Patrol. So just like the labor unions don't support Kamala Harris because the rank and file said no, it's the union leadership. So the chain of command, the upper command, the higher command went ahead and supported the bill. But we all know that out of that bill, 9% went to the United States and everything else went overseas. The amount of countries, 16 different countries would have had their border reinforced, including UAE, Egypt, Bahrain, Ukraine, Israel, all outside of the United States. And it didn't address the key points. It didn't address what Remain in Mexico addresses. It didn't address overall people who were gotaways. It didn't address asylum seekers. It didn't address DACA. It wanted to allow 5,000 immigrants to cross a day or a week. Give me a break. None of it. No, it was a week. Yes, 20,000 a month. Give me a break. It didn't address anything.
Affecting people of every...
Yes, the union, the Border Patrol union, sorry.
...background, every geo...
Not the union leaders. The representatives for the Border Patrol. The leadership.
...graphic location in our country, killing people. It would have allowed us to put more resources into prosecuting transnational criminal organizations, which I have done as the Attorney General, former Attorney General of a border state.
I come from a middle-class family. From a
border state?
You were in San Francisco. That's about as far as from the border as you can get. You might as well claim that you stopped illegal immigration from Canada because you're closer to that.
Freaking, it's Baja, California that you border to the south.
Well, she has Mexico too, honey. Sandy, Mexico, bottom of California.
Yeah.
Should I get a map?
Yeah.
No?
Yeah.
Okay.
President, a couple of things.
Prosecuted trafficking of drugs, guns, and human beings. And Donald Trump, but let me just finish.
Six Democrats voted against that bill.
Learned about that bill and told them to kill it because he preferred to run on a problem instead of fixing a problem.
Show me a recording.
And in this election, this is rightly a discussion.
So why'd you wait 3.5 years?
That the American people want to have. And what they want are solutions, and they want a president of the United States who's not playing political games with the issue,
I hear you.
but actually is focused on fixing it.
6 Democrats voted against that bill. It would have allowed 1.8 million illegal immigrants into the country a year. A lot of conservatives had a problem with it.
Yeah, it was 5,000 a day. I'm sorry, not a week. I'm a little bit discombobulated because I had to spend a bunch of time on Jonah's frickin' novel.
These are the 6 Democrats. But more importantly, back to the original premise. Jocelyn Nungari Rachel Morin, Laken Riley, they are young women who were brutally assaulted and killed by some of the men who were released at the beginning of the administration, well before a negotiated bipartisan bill.
Correct.
Former President Clinton actually referred to Laken Riley Sunday, campaigning for you in Georgia, saying if those men had been properly vetted, Laken Riley probably would not have been killed.
Upset.
So if it wouldn't have happened, this is well before any negotiation. This is well before Donald Trump got involved in the politics. This is a specific policy decision by your administration to release these men into the country. So what I'm saying to you, do you owe
Brett,
those families an apology?
Let me just say, first of all, those are tragic cases.
And I come from a middle-class family.
There is no question about that. And I can't imagine the pain that the families of those victims have experienced.
Yeah. Come on, answer.
For a loss that should not have occurred.
Why did it occur?
So that is true. It is also true that if a border security had actually been passed 9 months ago, it would be 9 months that we would have had.
Mel, I said that like a month ago, 2 months ago. I was looking at Kamala Harris's prosecutorial record, and I didn't see any. Like, I've tried to open up her cases and research her cases, and I'm not finding any. And the only reason why that would be is because she pled them down, or she dismissed her cases, or reassigned her cases to an assistant district attorney. That's the only reason. So for her to sit here and say, oh, I've prosecuted all these cases when I haven't been able to find any. Mark Levin's a hell of a researcher, which basically means his staff is good. And I'm a hell of a researcher and I don't have a staff and I can't find any.
Border agents at the border, more support for the folks who are working around the clock, trying to hold it all together.
Madam Vice President.
To ensure that no future harm would occur. And this election in 20 days will determine whether we have a president of the United States.
And folks, I'm just telling you right now, there's not a fucking chance in hell she's going to win. The question is, are they going to allow Donald Trump to take office? And that's that's what we're going to talk about. That's what this all is right here. This whole thing. Thanks to Jonah, who sent it to me 58 minutes before we went live. Jonah.
Actually cares more about fixing a problem, even if it is not to their political advantage in an election. Yeah. Because there was a solution, Brett.
The solution is give them free money and weed, like I did all the brothers out there. Yeah.
It was a policy decision in the early part of your administration. I will let one of the mothers talk about it. Take a listen.
Oh, shit. He's going to break out video?
Because of the Biden-Harris administration open border policies catch and release, they were enrolled in the Alternatives to Detention program. This meant that they were released into the United States. It was not even a full 3 weeks later that they would take my daughter, Jocelyn Nungare's life. I believe the Biden-Harris administration open border policies are responsible for the death of my daughter.
That's the early days. So do you owe them?
Oh, look at her. She's so pissed.
I like the fact that he's not letting her squirm around the issues. He's actually following it up with, you need to answer the question. He's not letting it sit.
This is why I guarantee none of them would ever come on my show. And it's why Republicans won't come on my show. It'll be like, Matt, you have to stop. No, I'm not going to fucking stop. Matt, you have to move on. No. I don't.
Until you answered the question, I'm not moving on.
I'm not moving on. We're doing this. So you're one question. And if you want to waste your entire time by not answering a question, then so be it. But I will not relent. The entire show. I mean, it'll become, I'm sure people are like, you know what? We can't watch Matt's show anymore. It's boring. Because nobody answers the question. And that's maybe the name of the show. Nobody answers the question. Because this is what it is. Everyone who bagged on Brett Baier, I told you shouldn't. When he dropped Arizona, he's at a news desk. He's doing everything he can. This guy is always fair. I love Brett. I've never had a problem with Brett. I've never had an issue. And even when everyone said to hate him, I was like, what's wrong with you people? He doesn't do anything that I would say would sell out. He's very open about his opinion about Trump. He disagrees with him upon occasion. But so far, he's killing it.
Apology is what I'm saying.
I will tell you that I am so sorry for her loss. I'm so sorry for her loss. Sincerely.
That's not good enough.
But let's talk about what is happening right now with an individual who does not want to participate in solutions. Let's talk about that as well.
But do you want to answer
in all fairness, I told you, I feel awful for what she and her family have experienced.
During that time, you said repeatedly that the border was secure.
Yes.
When in your mind did it start becoming a crisis?
I think we've had a broken immigration system transcending, by the way, Donald Trump's administration, even before. Let's all be honest about it.
Ian O'Reilly says, do we get to see the other candidates' interview from yesterday for some comparison? I don't know, Ian. Sounds like you've already seen it. What, you want me to go ahead and show you the 30 minutes that Donald Trump was dancing on the stage and they played music because there were two people who collapsed in the audience, and he does what he always does and stops the rally because he finds it to be absolutely disrespectful and disingenuous to go ahead and continue to talk over while people might be having a heart attack or dying or suffering from a stroke? Sure, I'll show you that. You want to see it? You want to talk about the Wall Street Journal? You want to talk about how they ambushed him on tariffs? We've all seen it. The problem is that they've been doing this with Trump forever. So you're finally seeing a candidate be held accountable, Ian, and you're complaining that we're not showing you Trump, which is what we've shown you for 9 years as the media attacks him, and you're going to get your vagina in the uproar because we're showing Kamala Harris for the first time be held accountable. Sorry, bro. We'll get right on that.
I have no pride in saying that this is a perfect immigration system. I've been clear, I think we all are, that it needs to be fixed. We need more.
That's my disappointed dad look, Ian.
Down at the border, talking with border agents, and they will tell you, and I'm sure you probably, I know you investigate and you are a serious journalist, they will tell you, we need more judges. We need to process those cases faster. We need the support for those cases that should be prosecuted. They need more resources, and Congress ultimately is the only place that's going to get fixed, Brett. Well, that's how this system works.
That's the premise of this question. There were 90-plus executive orders that were rescinded in the first days. Many of those were Trump border policies. I'm not going to stay here because there's other things to talk about, but
because your election's going to be even more done than it already is. It's funny, when we showed this to Hayden, I'm like, she's cooked. And I guess that's a new thing with the kids today, is that, like, when you get dragged, you say they got cooked. And my comment was, well, she's definitely well done, and she is much blacker than she's ever been before. Ba-da-bum. Ha-ha. It's not racist if it's funny, folks.
Border Patrol Union for support of that bipartisan bill, and they did. They supported it. But they also just endorsed Donald Trump and said, you've been, quote, a failure with border security. Why do you think they said that?
I think they're frustrated, and I get it. They want support.
Oh my God! Like I so get it. Like oh my God, I understand.
Like oh my God, like what's going on?
That's pretty much.
Do you have it?
I do.
Like oh my God, what's going on, Billy? What's going?
Whatever.
Oh.
What's going?
I can see the commercial for that. Oh my God, what's going on?
That one.
Wave those flash, you sexy motherfucker. The music. Shing, shing, shing. Shing, shing, shing. Hey, where is everybody? Oh, I'm naked. I'm going to go take a shower.
And that's what that board...
What?
Can I have the phone? I'm going to do the kitchen next week.
Yes, you can have the phone. Yes, you may have the phone. All right, have fun. See you, buddy.
Security bill would have done. These guys down at the border, these men and women, they're working hard.
Oh, real quick. And that's not me chewing you out because you said something, Ian, okay? I'm just being honest with you, right? So this would be a perfect example of what we talked about last night. I'm not chewing you out. You said something. I addressed it. You were being flippant. You know you were. I gave it to you right back. See, that's the problem. At least I give you equal treatment. Right? And when I make a mistake and you were talking to someone else, I would be like, oh, you know what? That's a reply. I know that's directed at me. So I just gave it to you right back, right? So you're going to be okay, right? Just, rub some dirt on it and get back in the big game, pal.
They're working around the clock. I get it.
There's a lot of people that look back at what you said in 2019 when you first ran for president. And there have been changes, and you've talked about some of them. When it comes to immigration, you supported allowing immigrants in the country illegally to apply for driver's license, to qualify for free tuition at universities, to be enrolled in free health care. Do you still support those things?
Listen, that was 5 years ago, and I'm very clear that I will.
This is a fucking brutal interview. Listen, that was a very complicated time in my life. I was struggling. Oh, you mean right before you were elected to be the vice president of the United States of America when you were running for president? Oh, you mean like 5 fucking years ago? You mean like yesterday in terms of political time frames? Oh. Well, I didn't know it was 5 years ago. Holy crap. So let me get this straight. The last Olympics is when you had a revelation to dump all your commie policies and now become this centrist who essentially sounds like Donald Trump. Oh, well, I didn't know that.
If he's such a horrible person, why are all of his policies what you're running on?
I don't know. Ask her the same question about the tax cuts that they bitch about every day, but they extended those. Kevster, Keverino, Kevin Meister, the Kevo, Kevinator with a $10.80.
Oh, goodness.
Feeling Kevaranta.
The law, I have made that statement over and over again, and as Vice President of the United States, that's exactly what I've done, not to mention before.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
if
that made
that's
no
the
sense.
case, you chose a running mate, Tim Walz, governor of Minnesota, who signed those very things into state law.
Uh-oh.
So do you support that?
Uh-oh.
We...
Okay, he asked about what? I'm sorry.
This is fucking brutal. It's like bing, bing, bing. It's career dissipation light just blinking in the corner of her eye.
I missed what he asked. I heard about Tim Walz.
He's like, well, if you're against all these policies, then why did you put as your vice president somebody who believes in all of these policies and pass them in his own state? And she's like, listen, I'm from a middle-class family.
Are very clear, and I am very clear, as is Tim Walz, that we must support and enforce federal law, and that is exactly what we will do.
Whatever.
So decriminalizing border crossings, like you said in 2019.
I do not believe in decriminalizing border
then why did
crossings,
you say it?
And I've not done that as vice president. I will not do that as president.
I thought you didn't have any power as vice president to make those decisions. Which one is it, Kamala? Seriously, which pair of underwear are we wearing today? Is it Monday or Wednesdays? I don't understand.
I think it's Saturday because she's off.
Oh, mic drop. That was so... I think it's Saturdays because she's off. Damn, girl. You should have said it must be the weekend because she's off, but still, Saturday works. Saturday is good. Sunday's the day of rest. That might have been a little bit better, but it doesn't matter. I made the connection. I'm proud of you. You deserve to give yourself a rim shot, and I'll give you one later. Rim shot.
Oh, sorry. You distracted me.
Give yourself a rim shot.
I'm thinking. Hang on.
Hurry up.
I'm looking for it.
Yenny's going to show her hoo-ha here. Here she is.
There
Thank
it
you.
is.
Jeez, that took you long enough, but it was very good. Oh, she's off on the weekends, girl.
These are evolutions that you've had.
No, but let's be very clear. I'm the only person who's running for president
Who's from a middle-class family.
I'm the only person running for
Prosecuted.
president.
Transnational criminal organizations, from the Sinaloa cartel
There you have it.
to the Guadalajara
Can't find them.
cartel.
What about the Cali
People
cartel?
who have trafficked in guns, drugs, and human beings.
What about the heroin and the human feces in San Francisco? What about the needles? Did you cartel any of those by chance? Did you happen to go ahead and cartel the homeless problem? Did you go ahead and prosecute those people? You're such a snatch.
I spent a significant part of my career going after.
Folks, can we get a big donation for Olivia's joke? Seriously, because that was that good. I've got to clip that. Oh, she's off on the weekends or off on Saturdays. It must be Saturday because she's off. Dude, off, double entendre. You guys get it, right? You get it? Did you get the joke? I mean, seriously, I don't see anyone showing Olivia any. This happens so rarely. We must capture the moment.
My one brain cell actually had a moment of clarity.
We have to celebrate these things, seriously.
And Yenny's upset she's not on camera, so she came up to be on camera.
Son of a bitch.
Present a threat to the safety of the American people and cross our border with the intent of doing us harm and cross our border illegally. And I will do that.
How do you establish that when you don't interview them because they're all gotaways or they They jump illegally because if they were apprehended, they wouldn't be illegal. They would be in custody. Okay, Yenny, the tail, the mic, all of it. Too much.
As vice president, I take that work quite seriously.
This is a time when voters, especially here in Pennsylvania, are inundated with commercials and ads. They just want it to stop because it's every
Thank
commercial.
God.
But
Yes.
many
Yes.
of them add noise, but a few of them seem to break through. This particular one from the Trump campaign has gotten a lot of attention.
Kamala supports taxpayer-funded sex changes for prisoners.
It's fucking brutal. Brett Baer's like, and I've got a picture of your boyfriend in 6th grade. He looks like Opie. Why would you ever date a redhead? Seriously, what the fuck is wrong with you, lady?
Surgery.
Brutal.
For prisoners. For prisoners. Every transgender inmate in the prison system would have access.
All right, we also have a video of you. It's called 2 Girls in a Cup, and we're wondering.
So are you still in support of using taxpayer dollars to help prison inmates or detained illegal aliens to transition to another gender?
I will follow the law, and it's a law that Donald Trump actually followed. You're probably familiar with, now it's a public report, that under Donald Trump's administration, these surgeries were available on a medical necessity basis to people in the...
A medically necessary basis, you mean? That English is hard? Listen, we just want to do gooder when it comes to trannies. So we're going to go ahead and do that. Listen, we don't care. We listen, if you want me to, I will go down there and we'll play Yankee Me Wanky with them. I'm here for them because we just want to do gooder than anyone else. I'm Kamala Harris and I'm from a middle-class family.
Prison system, and I think, frankly, that ad from the Trump campaign is a little bit of like throwing, stones when you're living in a glass house.
The Trump aide said...
Wow, you almost quoted a Bible verse. $10.80 from Glenn. I guess they didn't like your joke, Liv. Sorry. Glenn, you're the best. We appreciate you. That's
Not
only
that funny. It's okay.
I thought it was pretty good. I'm ready to donate. I'm going to go and try to find some time to do that.
You can donate later.
Glenn's, drop the kids off at the pool. Glenn, thank you so much, buddy.
He never advocated for that prison policy and no gender transition surgeries.
You know what? You got to take responsible for what happened
presidency.
in your administration.
Yeah, no surgeries.
You're not taking responsibility what's happened in your administration. Are you fucking serious?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
You're wearing Saturday panties, lady. I suggest you...
You shut your mouth when you're talking to me.
That's what I think of her.
I suggest you clock in and get back to work. Taking those weekends off, extended 3-day weekends. Are you going to take as many vacations as Joe Biden, considering?
Yeah, she took a cue from Joe. She's going to run her presidency like he did.
820 fucking days out of 4 years. This guy took up how many days?
That's
in 4 years?
Over than 2 years.
2 years. Weekends.
2
weeks. Get your ass to Mars.
We're on a roll.
Get your ass to Mars.
2 weeks.
2 weeks. Benny, I have 6 kids.
In this presidency.
It's in black and white.
Would you still advocate for using taxpayer dollars for gender reassignment surgeries?
I will follow the law, just as I think Donald Trump would say he...
Yeah, but you're the president of the United States, potentially. What you're trying to say is that you'll just keep things at status quo. And when you were asked about Joe Biden, would you change anything? Would you do anything different? Your answer was no. So what you're saying is that you don't have any opinion whatsoever unless somebody tells you that that's the law. So you're waiting for other people to interpret your platform. This should be a fantastic presidency. What a dipshit.
Yep.
You would have a say as president.
Like I said, I think it's real. He spent $20 million on those ads trying to create.
I hope he spends $50 million breaking down this fucking thing, because this is the election right here. Just replay that immigration thing, dude. You know what I would do? Hey, Deb, thanks. Deb from Rumble. Do you know what I would do? What is the most important thing coming up here that's going to be like on TV? It's not Super Bowl. We're way past that. What's coming up?
World Series.
That's a great idea. So the World Series, if I was Donald Trump, I'd take $100 million And I would play part 1 in the first 5 minutes, play part 2 at halftime, and play part 3 right before they say I'm going to Disneyland, and break down that answer to immigration, and I would win the election on that son of a bitch.
A sense of fear in the...
Good job knowing when the World Series is. Honey, you're impressing the hell out of me tonight.
And why would I not know when the World Series is?
I'm just saying, you're doing a great job. That pretty little head of yours is just working overtime. I'm proud of you tonight.
Because he actually has no plan in this election that is about focusing on the needs of
God, you're hot.
American people. Whereas...
Ooh, we have a question. It's code. I hope you're still not mad at me about the teacher thing. If a bus driver refuses to let an individual who uses a wheelchair off at the proper place, tells a white male he has to use the back door, but allows all the African Americans use either door.
I don't get the question.
It's the Jews' fault. That's my answer. The Jews did it.
$20 million on that ad.
Help me with that question. I'll answer it. I just don't know what it means.
Yeah, we need
on
to
an
know the whole
issue
question.
that, as it relates to the biggest
We're in the
issues
middle
that
of a
affect
show.
the American people.
We're in the middle of
it's
a show.
really
Who's
quite
calling?
remote. And again, his no different. Look where we are.
Hold on.
They
On
say
plans
hold
for
on.
the American.
Okay, well, we were in the middle of a show. Hi, who's this? Is this Susie, my Time Life operator?
This is Annie.
Annie? Hi, Annie.
Yes. Hi. I wanted to donate some money, and I can't figure out how to do it on my phone.
Oh, Olivia, how does Annie donate some money?
You need to go to thedumshow.com/donate, and there's a donate button.
I only have a cell phone. I can't do that.
Oh, do you not have a touch screen phone? You just have like a flip phone?
I have a touchscreen phone, but I've been trying for a week to get through on whatever it is on that, and it won't go through for me.
A couple of things, Annie. Can you turn down your TV behind you?
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. Forgot about
Don't
it.
be sorry. It's just going to be easier to hear you. First of all, we appreciate you wanting to do this. Is this Annie Putnam?
Yeah.
See, you're amazed. You're like, holy crap, Matt, how did you know that? Go ahead. You can ask that question. I'll tell you.
I know. I thought I was going, how do you know?
I'm really good because I remember
Would it be
things.
easier for me just to go ahead and mail it to you?
If you want to, but do you have a desktop computer at home?
No, I don't.
Okay.
All I got is a cell phone.
Will your cell phone access the internet?
But you got to know how to do it.
Okay. Annie, easiest thing to do is send it to our P.O. box. Do you have that address? Do you need Olivia to give that to you?
Yeah.
All right. Olivia's going to give you our P.O. box. Here it comes.
Do you have a pen?
Yes, I do.
All right. It's P.O. Box 2.
2?
Yes.
Okay.
We're in a huge town.
Yeah. Round Hill, 2 words.
I didn't hear that.
Round Hill.
Round Hill?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
2 words.
ROUND space HILL.
Then
Okay.
Virginia.
Repeat that.
Virginia. So VA.
Virginia.
20142.
20 what?
20142.
142. Okay. Okay,
All
got
right.
it.
Annie, read it back to me.
Box 2, Round Hill, Virginia, 20142.
Yep.
Yes,
P.O.
ma'am.
P.O. box. Outstanding. That's it. Thank you, Annie.
Thank you. I'll be sending that out tomorrow.
Oh,
Thank
you're
you,
a doll.
ma'am.
We love you. Thanks for calling in, buddy. We'll talk soon.
All right. Have a good
Hey,
one.
did you want it? Did you
Bye.
have did you have a question or anything or any comment you wanted to leave? Anything at all?
No, I don't think so. I'm just trying to catch. I haven't been on much for the last couple of days. I'm trying to catch up on everything.
Oh, yeah. Well, I talk a lot, so I apologize. We've got a good show for tonight, so I can't wait for you to watch. Thanks for calling, Annie.
Thank you, Annie.
Okay. Thank
All right.
you.
Bye-bye. Yep. See, I remember people. I'm good at this.
Funny thing is, I knew it was her as soon as she said Annie.
You didn't know as well as I did.
I
Jane
did.
Bush gives us a $51.99.
Thank you, Jane.
Thank you, Jane. You're amazing. I had a comment, but I'm growing as a person. See, I was going to make a little joke with your name, Jane, but I didn't because I'm growing. It had to do with Tarzan in the jungle.
Oh my goodness.
and your last name. But I stopped and I didn't do it. I'm growing as a human being. Thank you so much for the $51.99. We appreciate it. If you want the joke, I'll give it to you. For $51.99, you definitely deserve to hear the joke. Okay, here it is.
I'm offering a plan to deal with affordable housing. I'm offering a plan to deal with what we need to do to strengthen small businesses, which are the backbone of America's economy. I am offering a plan that is about taking care of young parents and giving them the support they need.
And taking 3-foot graphic bong hits off the balcony, yo. Let's go to a Grateful Dead concert, giving all black people weed. Come on.
I'm drinking some Miller High Life.
They don't, Miller, that's expensive. Mad Dog. Or OE, Old English, or Colt 45. Colt 40, Billy D. Williams, Colt 45. Smoother than a thigh.
Economy will strengthen the economy, as have been reviewed by 16 Nobel laureates, Goldman Sachs, Moody's, and recently the Wall Street Journal.
Goldman Sachs, repudiated that fact and said 100% that it was some sort of clerk or analyst and not somebody from officially Goldman Sachs. And that's from the CEO. So bullshit.
Studied our plans and have indicated my plans for our economy would strengthen our economy. His would make them weaker, would ignite inflation and invite a recession by the middle of next year. Those are the facts.
Why do you think more people say they trust him on the economy than they trust you?
I think that when you look at an analysis of our plans for what we would do as President of the United States, it has been clear to those who study and understand how economic policy works that moving forward...
But not you, right? God, I can't... Kamala, honey, sweetie.
Jambalaya, get it right.
Jambalaya, horseradish. Can I just tell you that you need to come on my show, and I promise you, I will not treat you like Brett Baer does. I will be gentle. I will use KY. I promise. It will be... But, lady...
Answer a fucking question.
Seriously, you just said that as long as it's the law, you just said you don't even understand your own economic plan. I'm surprised. I don't even understand my own economy plan good. You just told America that you got killed on illegal immigration. Excuse me. Illegals coming into the United States and an unsecure border. You just admitted that was all your fault. Now you are saying that other people can explain why your plan is gooder. Please come on my show. I will restore your status in America. I will make people see the true genius you are. Please come on my show. God, I would love that.
I believe the American people are ready to
She went on Call Her Daddy. Maybe she'll come on Don't Unfriend Me.
Call her daddy. You can call me daddy too. It's totally fine. I'm totally down with it. I'm but I really want to hear her opinion on abortion. That would be good to hear. So a person who's never had children can tell me all about children. That would be awesome. I can't wait for that one.
Yeah. You can tell me how to raise my own kids too.
Please tell me. Yeah. I would love to know.
And the type of rhetoric that has come out of Donald Trump, people are ready to chart a new way forward, and they want a president who has a plan for the future.
You don't have one. You just said
and a plan that is sound and will strengthen our country. My plan for the economy does exactly that. His plan would be, again, to give tax cuts to billionaires.
Which Democrats went ahead and passed and extended till 2025 and 2021. So do you disagree with your party? When they extended those tax cuts, if they were so damaging to America, why did you go ahead and extend them? Did I tell you I'm from a middle-class family?
And the biggest corporations in our country and blow up our deficit.
It's interesting you said turn the page, Madam Vice President. You were asked on 2 different shows last week what, if anything, you would do differently than President Biden. Here's what you said.
Would you have done something differently than President Biden during the past 4 years?
There is not a thing.
I would have snuffed him with a pillow a hell of a lot sooner and executed my coup faster. Did anyone hear the story about Doug Emhoff? That's her husband, where when Joe Biden officially said he was going to drop out, that she called Doug, and I have the clip where Doug she said, "Thank you, Ashley Gleason, you're the best," where she called Doug and said, "What the fuck are you doing? I've been trying to get a hold of you for an hour. We need to get to work because Joe Biden dropped out," and started yelling at her husband. I've got it. These are his words. His words. This lady is like, the Secret Service hate her more than Hillary Clinton, number one. Number two, she demanded her people call her the general. I'm surprised she didn't say Generalissimo. That would have been better.
General Jambalaya. I like it.
General Jambalaya. Sounds good. Sounds gonna be a good restaurant. Where are we gonna go tonight, there, honey? Oh, we're going to General Jambalaya. Get ourselves some possum and collard greens in the bathtub. Woo!
To mind in terms of, and I've been a part of most of the decisions that have had impact.
Under a Harris administration, what would the major changes be?
Nothing.
And what would stay the same?
Nothing.
Sure. Well, I mean, I'm obviously not Joe Biden.
I know.
Wait a second. Hold on. Okay. I think that's the most honest thing she said. Not tonight.
And so that would be one change in terms of, but also I think it's important to say with, 28 days to go, I'm not Donald Trump.
So you're not Joe Biden.
She's drinking water. She's like, I'm parched.
You're not Donald
There's
Trump,
some
but
vodka in this water, please.
I guarantee. Yeah, that's why she's dry. She's dry. She hasn't had enough to drink. She needs a few. Look at her staring. Look how pissed she is. Look at her eyes.
It's because she's not getting soft questions and he's not letting it go.
She won't even look at him. Look at her eyes. She's looking at the clock. She's looking at her handlers going, fucking save me. Blink twice if you need help. Kamala, blink twice. This is about sexism. This is the white patriarchal male expressing his penis all over her soft feminine ways. It's pure sexism. Brett Baier is a racist. He's in the KKK. He is Donald Trump's second in command in the Third Reich. And I was subjected to this absolute sexist, neo-Nazi fascist in Brett Baier, who is probably one of the most balanced mother effers in the business. Yeah, that's right.
nothing comes to mind that you would do differently.
Annie, did Annie figure it out?
No.
What happened? Was it
one of her friends donated on her behalf?
Damn it, Bobby! Listen, you've
not Bobby.
Oh, damn it, Kevin! You got it.
I know. I'll tell you later.
Okay. All right.
To be very clear, my president's.
First of all, thank you for the donation, $223.22. We have hit goal for the 13th night in a row. Thank you so much. You know what? If this was Donald Trump, if this was a debate, I wouldn't be doing this, but this is bullshit. So I'm just going to interrupt the hell out of this and add my commentary so all of us don't regurgitate and throw up.
Will not be a continuation of Joe Biden's presidency.
What?
And like every new president that comes into office, I will bring my life experiences, my professional experiences, and fresh and new ideas. I represent a new generation of leaders.
Okay, I want Brett Baier to pan out, and I want him to spread his legs and stick his hands down his pants like this and be like, I'm just wondering if I have to continue to mansplain everything to you. I just wish, just do it. Stick your hand down your pants, man. Pull out a beer. I love it. Turn on the football game while she's talking. Completely.
Tell her to go cook you a pot pie.
Listen, bitch, you can't do this job. Go fucking cook me a pot pie. Shit. Get me some jambalaya. Some horseradish.
I, for example, am someone who has not spent the majority of my career in Washington, D.C. I invite ideas, whether it be from the Republicans who are supporting me, who were just on stage with me minutes ago, and the business sector,
you mean the Never
and
Trumpers?
Others who can contribute to the decisions that I make about, for example, my plan for increasing the supply of housing in America and bringing down the cost of housing.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Harris. Here's my last question. Since Trump is not going to tax tips, as a former stripper, how do you feel about this?
Addressing the issue of small businesses, which is about working with the private sector to bring more capital and access to capital to our small business leaders, including my plan for a $25,000 down payment assistance for first-time home buyers and for small businesses, extending the tax deduction from $5,000 to $50,000.
We've heard a lot about those plans in recent days. Your campaign slogan is a new way forward, and it's time.
Spend, spend, spend. That's your fucking campaign. It's not a new way forward. It's the same old shit, different day. It's Saturday, and we're off of work, y'all.
You know that graph you showed me the other day? I think you should.
My Venn diagram?
Yes, your Venn diagram.
Yeah.
You should totally put that up now.
Okay, I'll do it.
Yes.
Hey,
absolutely.
guys. This is a perfect
Gloves are off.
This is a perfect way to segue into that joke. Let's do it. Let's see. Here it is, folks. Hey, guys. The new poll came out in regards to the overall poly market chances of Kamala Harris winning. And I was looking at those numbers as Trump's going up and the blue is going down. And I'm just going to say it looks like Kamala's legs for most of her career. Got to do a rim shot.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. I'm slow. My one brain cell is tired.
Rim shot.
I'm trying.
Fucking rim shot.
I'm trying.
It's good. You know, folks, like man spreading, but Kamala spreading. Get it? Look at the legs. It's legs. It's her legs. They're open. Come on, fucker. Seriously. You don't get quality entertainment like this very often. I'm just saying.
This is a comedy show tonight.
It is.
You've been vice president for 3.5 years. So what are you turning the page from?
Well, first of all, turning the page.
That's a fantastic question.
How could anyone leave this show? Like, we just had 10 people leave with that Kamala joke. Seriously, if you can't handle that, you're going to hate this show.
The last decade in which we have been burdened with the kind
By
of...
what has been?
By what has been.
By what has been.
Oh, you can't see my hands.
Be unburdened by what has been.
Coming from Donald Trump that has been designed and implemented to divide our country and have Americans literally point fingers at each other.
What?
That was your boy Obama that started that.
Yeah, you better go get your boy. He's a trippin'. He's a wrong guy. You know, Obama. You know, like now, listen, I'm going to say, I said it on my video today, and I said it last night. In the next 10 years, if the numbers continue, Democrats will dump minorities. They will dump African Americans, and they will move to illegal immigrants to replace them.
And felons. And 16-year-olds.
And 16-year-olds, because they will pass legislation. Folks, there is a shift in this country, and it was that Republicans were losing constituents left and right from 2008 to 14. The last 10 years has been abysmal for Democrats. I'm telling you right now, man, black people are waking up to this shit.
Leadership that suggests that the strength of a leader is based on who you beat down instead of what we all know. The strength of leadership is based on who you lift up. The strength of an American president, which is one who understands that the vast majority of us have more in common than what separates us.
Madam Vice President, more than 70% of people
that is about turning the page on rhetoric that people are frankly exhausted of, Brett.
More than 70% of people tell the country is on the wrong track. They say the country is on the wrong track. If it's on the wrong track, that track follows 3.5 years of you being vice president and President Biden being president. That is what they're...
I'm just letting you know, this is a masterclass on everything that the media should do. They should do it to Trump too. They should get him on the vaccines. They should hit him on the tariffs. They should hit him on the agriculture. They should hit him on J6. They should hit him on some of the things that he said about the stolen election. Holy shit, Gerald. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, Gerald, so very much. They need to hit Donald Trump on some things. They need to hit him on bump stocks. There's some things. I don't like what he's saying about transgenders, that it's up to the parents now, and sexually transitioning their kids. He said that today. I don't like that. There's some things they need to hold his feet to the flame. It's not just Kamala Harris. I want them to do it to Trump as well. But while they're doing this, this is what you do. This is the way every news media should treat these candidates, and it should be a bloodbath. They should literally leave with black eyes and a bloody lip. They owe it to us to answer these questions. It's fantastic. I want Trump to get hit too. There are some things I have some questions on. I understand he's going to the middle, but don't mistake the middle for the left because the left has moved the goalpost so much. Be careful. Don't piss off your base. Okay? I'm warning Trump, don't go too far left. And don't sit here and defend him either.
79% of them. Why are they saying that? If you're turning the page, you've been in office for 3.5 years.
And don't start defending him because Donald Trump just a week ago talked about vaccines and how good they are. Donald Trump has made mistakes. Donald Trump has said things that he needs to be accountable for. That is not correct. Okay? He's not perfect. He's not the Messiah. But this lady is a complete batshit liar, and she deserves to be torn apart because she's a stooge. She is a plant. She is not elected. Nobody wants her. And I told you that as soon as she was exposed, America will remember why they hate her. But that doesn't mean that we don't question Donald Trump and hold his feet to the flames. Remember, these are politicians. These are people who work for us. We don't work for them.
And Donald Trump has been running for office.
But you've been the person holding the office.
Come on.
Madam
You
Vice
and I
President.
both know what I'm talking about. You and I both know what I'm talking about.
I actually don't. What are you talking about?
What I'm talking about is that over the last decade,
yes,
people have become. But listen, over the last decade, it is clear to me, and certainly the Republicans who are on stage with me, the former chief of staff to the president, Donald Trump, former defense secretaries, national security advisor, and his vice president. One, that he is unfit to serve, that he is unstable, that he is dangerous, and that people are.
Because what you're doing is you just said America was sick of the divisiveness. People were sick of America, or people were sick of just constantly dividing and going after a candidate and not talking about policy. And here's what you're doing. The only thing you have is to go ahead and tear Donald Trump apart. It's ridiculous.
Exhausted with someone who professes to be a leader who spends full time demeaning and engaging in personal grievance.
I would love if Brett Baer would just reach behind his seat, pick up a bottle of vodka and go, take a poll on this. This will help.
And it being about him instead of the American people. People are tired of that.
If that's the case, why is half the country supporting him? Why is he beating you in a lot of swing states? Why, if he's as bad as you say, that half of this country is now supporting this person who could be the 47th president of the United States? Why is that happening?
Yeah.
This is an election for president of the United States. It's not supposed to be easy.
I know, but
it's not supposed to be. It is not supposed to.
You can't just fuck Willie Brown and expect for me to be president. Oh, wait a second.
So are they misguided, the 50%?
Listen,
are they stupid? What is
God,
it?
I would never say that about the American people. And in fact, if you listen to Donald Trump, if you
want to know, Hillary Clinton's going, gosh darn it.
Yeah, Hillary Clinton's like, fucking bitch. I could have done. Kamala Harris is why I lost.
They're the deplorables, you stupid bitch. Say deplorables.
She's just, Hillary Clinton's like, even I could do better than this fucking broad. God, I wish I was black. But either is Kamala, but I wish I was. I would have gotten it.
He's the one who tends to demean and belittle and diminish the American people. He's the one who talks about an enemy within.
He's talking about you, not the American people.
I know, this is
talking about the American people. Suggesting he would turn the American military on the American
That's not
people.
what he said.
We asked that question to the former president today. Harris Faulkner had a town hall.
Get him, Harris.
And this is how he responded.
I heard about that. They were saying I was like threatening. I'm not threatening anybody. They're the ones doing the threatening. They do phony investigations. I've been investigated more than Alphonse Capone. He was the greatest gangster. No, it's true. No, but think of it. It's called weaponization of government. It's a terrible thing.
So,
Brett, I'm sorry, and with all due respect, that clip was not what he has been saying about the enemy within that he has repeated when he's speaking about the.
So let me get this straight. I just want to make sure I understand this, okay? Barack Obama, in his final year as president, started using the term, instead of using over the 4 years of his second portion of his presidency, radical Islamic terrorism. He would not say it. He changed the name of ISIS to ISIL to go ahead and take out certain states that he was sucking up to that were part of the Muslim community. So he wanted to change it because the overall optics were bad. Now, you can call him ISIS or ISIL over there, but him doing that had nothing to do with the proper terminology. It had everything to do with optics. He then coined the phrase domestic terrorists. Domestic terrorists. He talked about white nationalists. When Donald Trump took office, this whole point turned over to domestic terrorism from parents. Talking about how there are this neo-Nazi fascist movement inside that if you question your school board, if you question why the LGBTQ community is grooming our children, if you question anything about this current administration, that you would be labeled as a domestic terrorist, as they did for any parents, especially in Virginia, who questioned the school boards. The FBI went ahead and pointed out that "Don't Tread on Me" flags and "Appeal to Heaven" flags, and the 13 stars were signs for neo-Nazi Aryan fascist groups. Joe Biden stood in front of a red background, and the only thing that was missing was a little tiny fucking mustache and an Austrian accent, talked about MAGA fascist extremists, and said that MAGA were direct enemies of democracy. You can talk about the legislation that's been put down on people when it comes to speech in America, when it comes to the way that our schools educate kids, the way that kids and parents are in COVID were encouraged to narc on their neighbors who were gathering more than 4 people per household. The talk about confiscation of guns, weaponizing the National Guard in certain states to investigate and root out domestic terrorists, people who are speaking out against COVID or this current administration. Using draconian law like the Canadians are doing and following Justin Trudeau's plan of action on how to suppress anyone who disagrees from the majority in the United States. You have 2, 3, 4 attempted assassinations of Donald Trump. 2 of them you had clear as day. The other one was quiet, and then the other one was just recently in the Coachella event where someone was arrested with a shotgun, a handgun, and a fake VIP pass to get inside. You have prosecuted him. You have tried to financially bankrupt the man, for real this time, not 6 groups out of 258 businesses, with a 98.86% success rate. We're talking about giving him a $500 million bond, which any billionaire will tell you is an ungodly and unbelievable lift to do. That billionaires across the world would struggle to find that much liquidity in order to go ahead and put up that bail. You've went ahead in Georgia, in Florida, in New York, and trumped up charges from Alvin Bragg, put this guy in a courtroom. You took a fucking photo. You thumbprinted him, which you already have on file. He has 0 flight risk. He's the most well-known man on the planet. You raid his home. You load up with full armament when you don't care about guns and automatic weapons and weapons of war, unless they're going ahead and being serving a warrant on Donald Trump. You don't notify his lawyer. You don't notify him. You take his passport. You go through his wife's panty drawer. And you go ahead and you serve a NARA warrant, which is a warrant that Bill Clinton had and Hillary Clinton had for their time in office. Barack Obama was requested to give those back. You nailed him for FEC violations for the Election Commission, which Hillary Clinton had to pay almost $500,000 in fines, and Barack Hussein Obama had to pay $925,000 in FEC fines, and he wasn't arrested. They didn't go to jail. You had Joe Biden, who had 7 different locations of classified documents. They had to go back 5 times and serve the warrant, and they didn't charge him with obstruction of justice after he said they had them all, and then they had to go back and get more. That entire thing was swept under the rug. You lied for 4 years and said that this fucking guy was mentally stable, that he was the great white hope, that he was the only person who could beat Donald Trump. You put him through a primary with 14 million people. You stole their votes and installed Kamala fucking Harris, who even in 2020 didn't get 1 primary vote and couldn't even get 1 from the state of California, where she was from. All of those things, you put them all together, and you have the balls to sit here and say that we are the ones who are weaponizing the government, that Donald Trump is going to use the military. Donald Trump is going to go ahead and take over democracy. Give me a fucking break. I just litigated 20% of the shit that you and your administration's done. Go fuck yourself.
American people. That's not what you just showed.
Well, he was asked about that specific...
No, that's not what you just showed. In all fairness and respect to you.
That was the question that we asked him.
You didn't show that, and here's the bottom line. He has repeated it many times, and you and I both know that. And you and I both know that he has talked about turning the American military on the American people. He has talked about going after people who are engaged in peaceful protest. He has talked about locking people up because they disagree with him. This is a democracy. And in a democracy, the president of the United States in the United States
elected
of America
by the people
should be willing to be able to handle criticism without saying
Listen, I just went on for fucking 5 minutes and got a little hot. You have a right to say something. What did you say again?
I said, she goes, this is a democracy.
Yeah.
I said, and the American people deserve to be elect the president, not have that president thrown at them.
Yeah, I don't know. I know a lot of oligarchs that are like this. I know theocracy works this way. Maybe she's a direct descendant of Charlemagne. Deborah Lynn says, you liar. I don't think she's talking to me.
No.
I'm pretty sure she's not. She might be.
We do have a question.
Go ahead.
Why hasn't Miss Obama come out and campaigned for her? It's probably because Harris is the other woman.
Oh, yeah. I told you this. Listen, I'm the one that said this, 7-8 months ago? It's all been scrubbed off the internet. There was a very salacious and probably accurate rumor that Obama diddled Harris during their time together. And this has all been scrubbed from there. You can't find it anymore. There were articles by multiple stations. New York Times did it, Washington Post, and you can't find it anymore. It's gone. You know what I mean?
For doing it.
Someone just said that the person who was at the Coachella event was a Trump supporter. The last I heard, he had a fake VIP pass. I don't know if that is accurate. So if I'm wrong, it's because something's been updated that I haven't heard. But that's the last bit of information I heard. Either way, 3 assassination attempts that we know about. And I know that there's more than 3. Personally, from talking to people in the Secret Service, there are more than 3. What we know about is 3, and then the Coachella event, which was... If that person's been released, it's something questionable, right? Why do you have a shotgun? You said they were in the car. Okay, that's not what I heard. So I need to find that out, and I'll look up that information. Okay, if I'm wrong, I'll make a correction. Fair enough. But if that's the only thing I'm wrong about in that entire thing, then dude, you know what? This is one you just chalk up and give it to me.
And this is what is at stake, which is why you have someone like the former chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff saying what Mark Milley has said about...
What video from Van Miller? I don't understand.
Donald Trump being a threat to the United States.
Okay. No, it wasn't. This wasn't an attempt. Once again, I'm going off information from yesterday. I have not been updated on any of this. So if somebody he had a fake driver's license, fake passports, and auto tags. The guy had a fake driver's license, fake passport, and auto tags. What? Matt, they're mixed. I will find out. Okay? I will find out. I'll let you know.
Of America.
Her voice is raising.
He's quoted in the Bob Woodward book that way, yes. Let me ask you this, Madam Vice President. You call Donald Trump.
The significance of that.
Call Donald Trump.
I want to thank Renee Neufer for getting the documents of freedom. Renee, that will be shipping in right around November 1st. We have those boxes ordered. And we're ready. Books are already ordered, and we're ready to go.
Misguided. You say now
he's unstable. He is unstable, Brett.
He's not well. You say he's mentally not stable.
He's not stable.
Let me ask you this. You told many interviewers that Joe Biden was on his game, that ran around circles on his staff. When did you...
Okay, I want to also thank somebody on Rumble Rants for $19.25. Olivia, if you want to update that.
Yes.
Whoever did that, I don't know. I can't see it.
Well, we had a $20 one earlier that I already put in.
Who was
that? Or
that?
25. It was who did I say it was? Hang on.
It's okay. Whoever did that, thank you.
Deb on
Okay,
Rumble.
then that's the one.
That's probably the
She's
one.
good. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Noticed that President Biden's mental faculties appeared diminished.
Joe Biden I have watched from the Oval Office to the Situation Room, and he has the judgment and the experience to do exactly what he has done in making very important decisions on behalf of the American people.
There were no concerns raised?
Brett, Joe Biden is not on the ballot.
I understand,
And
but
Donald
but
Trump,
he
Donald
was.
Trump
He was.
But you
is-
talked about it.
And Donald Trump
After George
is,
Clooney said
and
within a
if
few
you
minutes of
watch
talking to President
Donald
Biden at a
Trump-
fundraiser that he thought this was not the same
Brett.
Joe Biden that we saw on the debate
Donald
stage.
Trump is on the ballot.
I understand. You met with him at least once a week for 3.5 years. You didn't have any concerns?
I think the American people have a concern about Donald Trump, which is why the people who know him best, including leaders of our national security.
All right, so just I need a break from her ass. Man was arrested Saturday outside of President Trump's rally in Riverside County on suspicion of illegal possession of a shotgun, handgun, and high-capacity mags. Vem Miller, 49, Las Vegas, was booked at the John Bonoy Detention Center. Deputies found the guns after searching Miller's black SUV at a checkpoint at the Avenue of 52nd. Blah, blah, blah. At the news conference Sunday. Okay, so he was at a checkpoint, so he had the guns in the car. According to Blanco, Miller had driven his SUV through an outer perimeter maintained by sheriffs. Deputy questioning Miller noticed that Blanco called many irregularities with his SUV. The license plate was phony. Vehicle was unregistered. Interior was in disarray. Search of the SUV, fake passports. Okay. Blanco said he was identifying the suspect with an asterisk because he possessed identification with multiple names. Homemade license plates. He was a lunatic, the sheriff said. Asked whether he was speculating by branding Miller a would-be assassin. Blanco said it was common sense to suspect that someone carrying guns and fake ID to a political rally intended to hurt people. Miller told, these accusations are complete bullshit. I'm an artist. I'm the last person that would cause any harm to anybody. Is this that artist guy? I heard that. Hold on. What's his first name?
Vem, V-E-M, I think.
Vem Miller?
Yeah. Marky has a very good point. Why is it that during debates or interviews, etc., politicians don't ever just answer a specific question, but instead dance around issues and bring up statistics of something else? Because they don't want to.
Okay. Mindy Robinson she's from conservative. Okay. This is a lot deeper than I know. Mindy Robinson's a prominent conservative. I don't give a shit. If you got a fake ID and you've got a fake driver's license and you got a fake license plate and you have firearms and you're bringing to a Trump rally and you have a fake VIP pass, yeah, I've got some issues. Had right-wing group stickers on his SUV, blah, blah, blah. Of course he did. Right. He had a Trump tattoo, huh? Wasn't charged with any fake docs or fake plates. Okay. So, Tina, do me a favor. Tina, research as much as you can on this. I will too, and we'll find out about it. Once again, I'm just giving you the initial report that I saw, and there hasn't been any major updates. We'll talk about it maybe tomorrow. But it's interesting. Okay. Thank you. Wasn't charged with any fake docs or fake plates. Yeah, it sounds weird to me. He has video of him with all the bigwigs at the RNC. He's allegedly friends with Vivek and Don Jr. Yeah, and he's with a very big conservative voice, too. I heard that, and she came out and said that. Once again, that's the information I had yesterday. If that's changed, then I stand corrected that it was an assassination attempt. But it is a little weird, don't you think? Something's a little weird. Okay.
Community have all spoken out, even people who worked for him in the Oval Office, worked with him in the Situation Room, and have said he is unfit and dangerous and should never be president of the United States again.
She seems a little unfit and dangerous. I mean, she seems incapable, which is even
of answering a question.
Right, but very incapable of holding this office, in my opinion. This is pathetic.
Including his former vice president, which is why the job was open for him to choose another running mate. So that is a fact. That is a fact.
Madam Vice President.
Thank you, Amy. Okay, we're cool. The Miller thing, I stand corrected. I'll research it. As of now, everything I said is thrown out the window. But that's what the reports are saying. If there's more to it, we'll uncover it tomorrow. I will take care of it tomorrow.
More things. You were asked on 60 Minutes about the biggest threat.
Last thing. Tina says, I think they got carried away. Good. I would rather them be safe than sorry. There's no reason to have any of that shit in California, because a loaded firearm in California in your vehicle is illegal. You have to separate the ammo and the weapon. So I understand California law, unless he has a concealed carry, and he certainly doesn't have a conceal for a shotgun. If he was not transferring those, there's some legal issues here. I don't know what it is. I don't know the whole case. I'm just letting you know it sounds really weird to me. That's all I'm saying, okay?
That the world faces, that the U.S. faces. This is what you said.
Which foreign country do you consider to be our greatest adversary?
I think there's an obvious one in mind, which is Iran. Iran has American blood on their hands, okay? This attack on Israel, 200 ballistic missiles.
I don't disagree with her.
What we need to do to ensure that Iran never achieves the ability to be a nuclear power, that is one of my highest priorities.
A number of experts thought you would say China. The FBI director had said that. But you said Iran. If that's the case, what do you say to critics who look at the actions of your administration and say you're not acting like Iran is the #1 threat?
Well, I will tell you most recently, whether it was in April or in October, and then several hours on each occasion that Iran posed a threat to Israel. I was there, most recently in the Situation Room, in the most recent attack.
I thought you don't have any power as the vice president.
Working.
So let me get this straight. The vice presidential power that you possess is turned on at random only when you consider your actions to be gooder. And deny that you have any power when the decisions you make are baddister. Am I correct on this? Is this the proper English for Kamala? Am I speaking Kamala? Kamonics? Is this jiving?
The heads of our military.
And she just wants this to be over. She's like, folks, you know what? I thought I wanted to be president. I don't really want to be president. She's just throwing the towel. Everyone's like, Trump's done. You know what? Kamala feels done. I just think she wants to be like, you know what? Fuck this, you cracker, and just get up and walk out. I don't feel inspired. I feel like she doesn't want to be there. I feel she's given up. And this will show you how she'll fight for America. When things get tough, she will put out a surface level idea. It'll fail, and then she will absolutely quit. She'll quit. Kamalish. Kamala-ese. Ooh, I like these language. What are you doing, honey?
Just looking at something.
What are you looking at? Are you looking at porn?
Absolutely. But in Virginia, we can't, so you know.
Well, what are you okay?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Okay.
What America must always do to defend and to support Israel in its requirement to defend itself, and to give American support to be able to allow Israel.
Yeah, you know what? Can I just go ahead and just filter this? My polls are low with Jews, and I need to go ahead and shore them up a little bit.
Have the resources to defend itself against attack, including from Iran and Iran's terrorist proxies in the region.
Right.
And that is, and my commitment to that is unyielding and unwavering.
Critics just say that you either relaxed or failed to enforce sanctions on Iran.
Jessica with a comment of the night. It's not Hillary, Jessica. I think he's going to be okay. I hope Brett's life insurance is paid up. It looks like if looks could kill, he would at least be very ill. That's so true.
All of this money to flow into Iran, like billions.
Let's go back to Donald Trump, who pulled out of a deal that would have actually put Iran in check.
The estimates in billions.
It was during Donald Trump's
that
administration that Iran
regime
that we had an American military base that was attacked, where American soldiers suffered traumatic brain injuries, and Donald Trump dismissed them as headaches, not to mention how Donald Trump has treated and talked about America's military and military service people calling.
Folks, I hate the fact that this entire show is about this, but I'm so glad that this entire show is about this. I will stay later tonight because I do want to get through this stuff. There's some things that I absolutely want to talk about. Hang in there. We're doing fine. And remember, if you have not donated to the show, thedumbshow.com/donate. You can go ahead via PayPal or Venmo. We provide stuff like this for you every night, weeknights at 7 p.m. Eastern. We have a recorded show and also news at thedumbnews.com. Stop on by thedumbshow.com. Pick up some cool shirts, some hats, some coffee. We have a new jacket out there. It is badass. Marky's going to want it. That's pretty much it. Liv, did I miss anything else?
Nope.
Okay.
That it goes
Suckers
to
and
Hezbollah,
losers
Hamas,
has diminished
and
the
Houthis.
significance.
We're talking over each other. I apologize.
I would like that we would have a conversation that is grounded in full assessment of the facts, which includes, I think this interview is supposed to be about the choices that your viewers should be presented about this election, and the contrast is important.
Yes, ma'am.
And on the subject of Iran, I am offering what should be an important contrast that is presented for folks to make a decision
and there are critics
that they feel.
Who look at what the administration did and say and think differently. Madam Vice President, they're wrapping me very hard here. I hope you got to say what you wanted to say about Donald Trump. There are a lot of things.
There's more to say. I have
there
much more to
are
say,
a lot of
actually.
things that people want to learn about you.
Well, then don't
and your
book
policies,
only a
and that's why
30-minute
I'm
interview, lady. It's not like you don't control your own schedule. You could have set aside a 5-hour interview if you really wanted to. You could go on Joe Rogan for 3 hours. You can come on my show. I will do a 24-hour marathon and give you the platform you desire. After that, you have to give me the same amount of time to ask you the questions and how full of shit you are. Don't pretend that you couldn't give him 3 hours. What else are you going to do?
How much did you give Caller Daddy?
Go on,
freaking
go on The
what's
View.
his butt, the other dude.
Yeah,
that she sat on a speaker or something.
Yeah, good for Bear. He killed it. And anyone who talks shit about Brett Baer, here endeth the lesson. Stop hating people because they disagree with you.
Everyone to go to KamalaHarris.com, and you will see that I have 80 pages of policies that are quite comprehensive and should be accessible to anyone who would like to read them. And it includes what I intend to do about affordable housing, what I intend to do about small businesses, what I do.
And that's why we invited you here to see where you were in 2019 and where you are now.
America's military industry. We have the most lethal and best fighting force in the world.
Madam Vice President,
and
they're giving me a hard rap
Well,
here.
I thank you for the time.
I thank you for the time.
It's good to meet you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
After the cameras turn off,
Hold on.
I would
Let's bring in our
love to
panel.
hear like
Martha
a hot
McCallum,
mic and she
anchor and
walk off
executive
the
editor of The
stage
Story with
saying a
Martha
bunch of
McCallum.
cuss
Dana
words.
Perino, co-anchor of America's Newsroom, co-host of The Five, and Harold Ford Jr., former Tennessee congressman, co-host of The Five. Dana, I'm going to start with you. What's your takeaway?
One, I think it is great that she did the interview with Fox, and I think that it was amazing that you
Never
were the
again.
interviewer. I think that that was an incredible 30 minutes, well spent by both of you. Now, I would say I thought some of her answers were a little bit thin, and I had to ask myself, where's the joy? There's no joy here. She came in kind of hot, and she got angrier, but at times, especially when she was trying to go after Donald Trump, she was fairly effective in that to try to get her point of view across. However, I would say on immigration that her answers were pretty thin. And there was one thing that she said, I think this was about the transgender surgery issue. She said, you are responsible for what happens in your administration. And I imagine that the Trump folks over there said, oh, okay, let me just take that clip and put it right in an ad, because the questions about why does 79% of the country think we are on the wrong track when you've been in office? Her answer saying that.
All right, we've litigated this. I appreciate. You know what? I want to hear Harold Ford Jr. Because I love him. I really do. I think he is awesome. He doesn't look stoked.
And I think that was their goal coming in. I tried to redirect numerous times without interrupting too much. You asked talking about, because she was going back a decade and talking about
Bret Baier's a handsome son of a bitch. He just has that old school Rock Hudson, Cary Grant, timeless look, you know? Just seriously, he chiseled. Like if you could take a Ken doll and make him 50, you would have Bret Baier.
Donald Trump. So thoughts overall?
So first off, you did a great job. You did a great job because you asked the tough questions and you went back at her with tough questions, and she should be pleased with how she performed this evening. I think what Dana and Martha are saying, there's a lot of truth to some of the answers that I would have wanted a more wholesome or full answer to. But she got a lot out of this interview, and I think one of the things that I hope it makes clear to her campaign is that coming on Fox and coming before our audience is the right thing to do. Two, she said something I think that she's going to want to.
Did you get Kimberly Ann as well? Joseph, thanks, brother.
Make clear and repeat over and over again, and that was when you asked the question about whether she would be like Joe Biden or her administration, if she's fortunate to be elected, will look like Joe Biden. She said this will not be a continuation of the Joe Biden administration or presidency. I would imagine they're going to run that over and over again. Probably some of the things they won't run are some of the things that Dana and Martha have touched on. I thought she should have been clearer about her position on if she's for the transgender operations or transition.
Tell you what, I love Harold Ford Jr. I know Olivia does too. We're both big fans. I think he's very, very fair. He's very balanced, and I love his opinions. I hate to do this, but I got to show this video and go right into something else. I would like. Luckily, we covered a lot of this stuff. But if I don't cover this now, we're not going to get to it. So we're going to watch a little bit of a video. Sorry. I'm just going to close this thing. Hold on. Come on. Oh, my God. Sorry. My first day.
Having problems there, dear.
Yeah. Very much so. Where's he go?
Your perch is back on camera, Yenny, if you want to get back up there.
Okay. You know what? We're just going to say, screw it. Just leave that alone. Okay. Let's find this video. I got to find the email. There it is. All right. So here's the thing. We had a question from Jonah.
There's a growing...
Here, I'll mute this. Let it play out.
Social.
It says, hey, Matt, it's Jonah, which you see on YouTube as J-Dog. Close the door, please. Yep. Who was that?
That was Ethan taking out the trash. He was probably out.
When he gets back, we ask him to close the door.
Yes.
I saw this video on Facebook talking about how democracies or Congress can disqualify Trump once he wins because of J6, but he wasn't charged with insurrection. Can you look at the video? Let us know what this means. Thanks. Yeah, I absolutely can. And we're going to do it right now. And that's what you get. Here is a little bit of the video just so you can watch it. And it's a very well done video. Glenn Beck, I like Glenn. Glenn is, close the door, please. My door, close the door, please. My door, close the door, please.
Ethan.
See? He doesn't hear me.
He's got headphones on. Close the door.
Close my door, buddy.
Crap.
There that's it. Not too much. Thanks, pal. All right. So here's the video. I like Glenn Beck. Glenn is a little bit too much doomsayer, but I want you guys to listen to this.
He is the Money GPT author, strategic intelligence editor. He's a guy who historically has been calling all the big ones, all of the big disruptions in our society, in our economy. And Jim, I've heard you be pessimistic. I don't think I've heard a more stern warning than the one you're giving right now.
Well, thanks, Glenn. It's great to be with you. I don't think of myself as a pessimist. I am an analyst, and I just try to be realistic. Right. So if that is kind of bad news, so be it. But I try to have a lot of readers and followers and so forth, and listeners on our show today, and I just try to get it right. But I am looking. that and the drop boxes and the mail-ins. So people understand that, but we'll get to November 5th. I don't think we'll know on November 5th or even that night or early the next day. You've got the usual trouble spots, Philadelphia, Maricopa County. I don't know what's going on in Arizona, but they seem to ship the ballots off to a warehouse. But beyond that, most Americans are not familiar with the actual electoral calendar, so to speak. And it was devised in the late 18th century. And people say, well, why does it take from November 5th to January 6th, 2025 to figure things out? Well, back in
the electoral process is extremely complicated. I've done a show on it. That show was 27 minutes, and I think it was the most boring show I've ever done in my life. The electoral process is complete bullshit. I'm just letting you know. That's why it takes a month.
Century, they got around by horses and carriage and all that, and it just took time. But anyway, when you get past that, let's just say Trump wins. Now, it's not a sure thing. It's going to be a close election, but my models show Trump winning. So he gets more than 270 electoral votes. So we come up to December 17th when they actually count those votes in the state capitals, and there are going to be disputes and litigation. But let's say we make it, I'm just kind of looking ahead as far as we can, to January 6, 2025. Now, everyone's spun up about January 6, 2021. We know what happened. But this is January 6, 2025. Those electoral votes go to the House and the Senate. Now, here's the key. And this is why Trump's campaigning in places like New York and California. He's not going to win New York or California, but they're fighting over House seats. But
so
if the Democrats
obviously, the biggest form of flattery is when somebody agrees with you, and he's right, because I've been saying that for a long time. Trump is in New York and California. One is for the House seats and obviously Senate, but also because I believe he can dwindle the popular vote down. And if there is a disparity of 7 to 10 million votes in the popular vote, this gives the Democrats more ammunition. If he can get that down to 1.5 to 2.5 million, it really shoots their chances of contesting his presidency even more. But this is what I anticipate them pushing, is going after the Electoral College and doing something not posthumous, but obviously that predates the actual election, and say, America has spoken. It's time for us to get rid of the Electoral College. We are going to go ahead and advocate on the behalf of executing the 25th Amendment or bringing this back to the 12th Amendment and remove Donald Trump. I've written the whole thing down for you, but I just want to explain to you, he's right, not just because he agrees with me.
Of the House of Representatives, which is possible. There are only a 4 or 5 vote difference right now. Led by Jamie Raskin, they're going to pass a resolution saying that Trump is an insurrectionist under Section 3 of the 14th Amendment.
They won't.
A lot of people...
No, they won't. No, absolutely not. They already have him on a felony charge. They're going to go ahead and try to litigate the case that the felony disqualifies him, and the current legal status and the cases that are pending do not qualify under the Presidential Immunity Act because he wasn't president at the time of these. This is going to be an unprecedented case. The Supreme Court will absolutely have to rule on it. There'll be an emergency session of the Supreme Court. They will find it an unconstitutional motion and then ultimately reinstate him as president. I've got the probabilities. I even gave you percentages, Jonah, of what I think will and will not happen.
Just a second. Didn't the Supreme Court throw that out? Not exactly. Colorado and Maine tried to kick Trump off the ballot on that ground. It went to the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court said states cannot do it. So Colorado and Maine couldn't do it, nor could any other state. But they explicitly said the Congress could. And it was a federal issue, exactly. Yeah. So now you pass this resolution, what happens? Trump's votes would be disqualified. Let's say he has 300 electoral votes, and pick a number over 270. Those are disqualified on the grounds that he's an insurrectionist. So then what happens next? Well, now now nobody has 270 because in this scenario, Kamala Harris doesn't get 270. Trump does, but he's disqualified. So now the election goes to the House of Representatives. This, by the way, has happened before, 1800, 1824, and then 1876. They still can't figure out what happened, but it has happened before. So, but now you flip over from the 14th Amendment to the 12th Amendment. I should let the listeners know I happen to be a lawyer, so I'm enough of a geek to read all this stuff. Now you're in the 12th Amendment, 1804, and what does that say? Well, the House votes to choose the president.
That's right.
But
the interesting thing is it's not based upon the overall House electorate. It breaks down to each state gets a singular vote, okay? And it goes on of in the legislature, in the state legislature, and it combines the gubernatorial, the governorship. It combines state legislature, Senate, even city council and at town and municipality level and district level, to what the representation of Democrat to Republican is. And if it has more Republican, I'm keeping this very simple, but if it has more Republican representation, that state is a Republican state and it gets counted. Right now, I think the ratio is, out of the 50 states, I think it's like 34 to 26 in favor of Republicans. And the reason why is if you look at any electoral map, it's all red, especially the Midwest, the Rust Belt, et cetera, et cetera. So in this case, very similar to a convention of states, Republicans will have not a super majority, but will have enough of a majority to go ahead and overturn or instate Trump as the president of the United States in this case, if it is contested. I think that's what he's about to tell you.
Well, caveats. One is they can only vote for someone who got in the top 3 electoral votes. And this is, back in the days, maybe 3 or 4 people get electoral votes. George Wallace got electoral votes in 1968. Top 3. But there's only going to be one. If you disqualify Trump, no one else is going to win a state. And Kamala Harris is the only one you could vote for because she would be.
That's not necessarily true. The stages of the one thing he might be missing, in my opinion, is the primaries have changed since the 1800s, where a primary is that you will have multiple candidates who will go through, and you would only have one person on the ticket for the primary. But we didn't have one person. We had Nikki Haley, who came in second place with almost 21% of the national vote. That could also be a consideration if she qualified for a large enough percentage to be on the debate stage or to be the RNC elected representative. The RNC, if they go ahead and delegitimize the election, which is ridiculous, they're not going to do that. But even if they did, you would have the RNC who won the election to go ahead and say, fine, then we are going to go ahead and put J.D. Vance with Nikki Haley, or we're going to put Nikki Haley and J.D. Vance, just like they did with Kamala Harris, who didn't receive one primary vote because they are the de facto nominee for president, just like she is the de facto president when Joe Biden says, I'm not going to run. And because she was on the ticket, and she didn't get one primary vote, she can still be president. This is precedent now. So for him to sit here and say this, I completely disagree with this. This has like a 0% chance of becoming true.
Because
did that make sense? Holy shit. That's a lot of information. I'm so sorry. I did not break that down very well. I just literally just bleh all over you. I hope you know me well enough over 4 years to have shorthand with me that you understand what I said.
Why wouldn't it go to J.D. Vance? Why doesn't he take those?
Well, I think that's what's going to happen, but you have to sort of follow the 12th Amendment is a playbook. I think that's where it will end up. I agree with that, but you have to kind of look at the sequence. Now, in the House, here's the interesting part. There are 435 members, but you don't vote by.
Okay, so he's now going to be, I can already tell you he's covering this. So I just said that the 435 members are not individuals where it is 50-50. There is a huge Republican advantage where only one state gets one electoral vote overall when voting for a contested election or president dies in office or you need to replace because of impeachment or whatever else it would be. You're going to see in that contestation, Republicans have an advantage, a considerable, like I said, I think it's 34 to 26 right now, red states over blue states.
Remember, you vote by state delegation. So Texas would get one vote. I live in New Hampshire. We'd get one vote, the same as Texas. The Republicans control a majority of the state delegations by a bigger margin. They barely control a majority of the House. But when you go by state delegations, it's more like 28-22. The Republicans have a substantial majority.
Yeah, I apologize. I don't know why I said 34. I'm trying, my head is completely fucked. 50 states, 50 votes. I apologize. 28-22, 6+. It was higher than that. At one point, it was 32-18, which was back when Donald Trump was in. So I apologize. Yes, my George Bush math was off.
But the problem is
everyone knew what I was saying.
Only vote for Kamala Harris no matter what, because nobody else has any electoral votes. The answer then, and the 12th Amendment says this, is for the Republicans, if they have, the cojones, to go out and stand on the mall in the snow, and then the House lacks a quorum. And the 12th Amendment says you can't do anything what we're talking about if you don't have a quorum.
Correct.
So if you lack a quorum, then what happens? The 12th Amendment says the vice president becomes the acting president. Now, J.D. Vance would not suffer this disqualification, going back to the insurrection. So J.D. Vance would become the acting president of the United States if the House lacks a quorum.
Okay.
And I describe this.
I think everyone gets the gist, and whatever you don't get, you'll get in my notes. Here is my breakdown, and I hope everyone can follow. I'll post this on a news article tomorrow for you. First of all, the question was about the analysis that he gave. It's intriguing. It's a really complex scenario, though. It's a lot simpler than a 10-minute. I wish I was on with him because I would love to have a conversation. And he is a lawyer, so he knows much more than I do about this. But there's some things I take some contest with. Electoral process uncertainty. He talked about the potential of a highly contested election outcome, primarily due to procedural issues like mail-in ballots, drop boxes, delays in counting votes in key areas as Maricopa and Philadelphia. Historically close elections in the U.S. have often led to legal battles. The Bush-Gore in 2000, the likelihood of significant legal challenges post-election, especially in battleground states, is very high. Here's the critical part of it that he's missing, and this is my analysis. The real challenge for the election may not be determining who wins the most votes, but navigating the legal, political, and procedural hurdles that could delay or even call into question the final result. This leads to a scenario where trust in the system could further erode, increasing societal unrest and market volatility. There's a 70 to 80% chance of this happening, in my opinion. No matter who wins, that there will be contestation. If you just want to look at it from Kennedy on, about 70% of those have had some sort of contestation, at least from an electoral standpoint, from an elector standpoint, state elector standpoint, from certain districts, and every single election since Kennedy. And even before that, had senatorial races that were questioned, gubernatorial races that were questioned, state legislature that were questioned. It's fairly consistent, especially in these volatile occasions, that you're going to have some sort of contestation happening. Most of these would happen before January 6th. In fact, the Supreme Court would meet very, very quickly. This is why you have that buffer from November 5th, 6th to January 21st to January 20th, I believe, when he is sworn in or she is sworn in. You have that buffer so you can contest. Now, the state elector process is a complete quagmire, and the verification process is also a quagmire. But that doesn't stop the other processes from taking place with the Supreme Court, the state questioning, or federal questioning any of the results. These things it's multiplicative. It can happen simultaneously, if that makes sense. 14th Amendment disqualification. This is where this is a very slim probability. I'll just give you my critical thoughts. But he was talking about Section 3 of the 14th Amendment. He argues that Democrats, if they control the House, could pass a resolution declaring Trump an insurrectionist. I find this to be highly unlikely. He has not been tried for insurrection. It is a legal term, and they can use a definition of insurrection and use that in the framework with whatever referendum or whatever declaration they want. But the legal definition of insurrection is a crime and must be adjudicated, and it hasn't been adjudicated. The election commission was a fucking farce. He has to have a trial. He has to have a jury. They have to present evidence. All of these things have to happen. He has the ability to face his accusers. They have to do disclosure. All of these things would have to take place. That is, if he would even get to trial. More than likely, there would be a preliminary hearing to see if there was enough exculpatory evidence to proceed. At this point, there isn't any. There's nothing. There's no smoking gun tying Trump to January 6th. It's all based upon a speech and perception, and it's all hearsay. It's supposition and conjecture. No judge who's worth his salt. You could get one of these district Democrat judges moving this forward, but overall the state Supreme Court or the Supreme Court is going to kick this thing back, which will probably what's going to have to happen. Here are my thoughts. While theoretically possible, disqualifying Trump under the 14th Amendment is a politically charged move that would face enormous backlash. This would be massive. Even if pursued, the courts are likely to become involved, and the Supreme Court's conservative majority would likely be hesitant to allow such an unprecedented measure to move forward, like I said. This probably has a 30 to 40% chance of an attempt to disqualify Trump under the 14th Amendment, less than 20% of success. So if you go ahead and take 30, 40% chance with a 20% chance of success, that breaks down to like 1 or 2% chance of this happening. It would be unbelievably uncharacteristic of the highest court in the land, especially being a Republican court, to entertain any notions of removing him from office under the 14th Amendment. Okay. Election going to the House. Now, this is something that he points out as a possibility of going to the House of Representatives under the 12th Amendment. He moved from the 14th to the 12th, saying that neither candidate could get to 270 electoral votes, with the states contesting and not being able to decide a winner. If the states decide to disqualify Trump and not send electors, this most assuredly could hold up the election. But this would require a multitude of states. Not one state is going to be able to hold up the election unless the race is extremely close, where there's only a matter of 4 or 5 points, which there are definitely possibilities to have a 4 or 5 point race. I don't think that's going to happen. I don't imagine this is going to be an extremely close race. I have a feeling this is probably going to be closer to a Hillary Clinton, Donald Trump type race either way. But you may have a situation that takes place. So here are my thoughts. The likelihood of the election going to the House is contingent on many factors, particularly the disqualification of Trump of a closely contested electoral map, like I have said. This scenario assumes that Democrats control the House and proceed with a disqualification strategy, which itself faces obstacles. Furthermore, this would create a constitutional crisis and a deepening of political division. This is a 10 or 20% chance of the election going to the House of Representatives and the 12th Amendment. Very, very slim. Very, very slim to none. J.D. Vance is acting president. You all heard what he said about that. Here's my thoughts. While it's constitutionally plausible, the scenario seems far-fetched. It relies on numerous if-then scenarios playing out perfectly for Republicans. The likelihood of the GOP walking out en masse to block the process, while possible, seems more like a doomsday contingency than a probable course of action. This is less than like a 1%. I give it a 5% chance, which basically means none. They're not going to go ahead and elect Trump and then remove Trump and put J.D. Vance and have Republicans and Democrats and the Uniparty put in and install J.D. Vance. This is a fucking conspiracy theory. It's stupid. There's no reason. Donald Trump's way too fucking popular, and you would literally see the fracture of America where 71 million people would revolt. It's not going to happen. Market and economic impact. He said that a contested election with multiple legal and political challenges could result in economic stability. This is probably one of his most accurate comments. So my thoughts are, if the election is prolonged or goes into legal battles stretching into 2025, markets will likely experience significant volatility exacerbated by fears of a constitutional crisis and a potential slowdown in government operations. This is a 90% chance of happening. If you extend past January 6th into January 20th and we do not have an elected leader at the helm of the United States, this not only makes us weaker from a militaristic standpoint, from a defense standpoint, but on the national stage will weaken our economy, impact the dollar, impact investment into the United States, impact trade. It is not a good thing. And most assuredly, economic downtrodden times will follow and could plummet us into a recession very, very quickly. I am 100% with him on this, and I consider that to be a high probability, probably the highest probability of all the things that he said. Here's my conclusion. His outlines, he outlines several high-risk scenarios that hinge on the unpredictability of the 2024 election process, legal battles, and constitutional procedures. While his analysis is grounded in constitutional law and historical precedent, the probability of each step in the chain of events coming to fruition is relatively low, though not impossible. His predictions serve more as warnings of what could happen in extreme circumstances rather than the probable forecast. The bigger concern is the potential erosion of public trust and market stability during a protracted and contested election process. So what I'm basically trying to say is his warning is absolutely warranted, and certainly what Democrats would want to do if all of these scenarios played out. Could they? The answer is most assuredly no. Too many things would have to fall. There's too many things. If my grandmother had balls, she would be my grandfather. That's a whole lot of ifs, okay? Jonah, how did I do? If he's not here, I quit, Liv. because I went over that entire thing for him. Jonah, let me know how we did. What time do we got? 5.
9:05. So I just thought of something, and something that we have yet to discuss since Biden stepped down from running for president again.
Okay.
Is this whole thing going to affect Hunter Biden and his guilty plea, or no?
Well, no.
Okay.
Because no matter what takes place, Joe Biden will absolutely pardon several people, hundreds, and defer sentences and pardon. It is kind of the last final FU. Trump did it. Clinton did it. Obama did it. Every single president does it, and they pardon. Joe Biden has no airs about him anymore. He doesn't need to show any loyalty to anyone. He's done. He's retiring. He's out of politics as of now. They are not going to tap him. He will become a Jimmy Carter. He'll become a George Bush. Nobody wants him because he was a complete abysmal failure, no matter what they say. And he's a mark on Democrats pushing democracy, right? I would not be surprised in any way, shape, or form that he pardons Hunter as soon as he exits.
You know, it would be funny and a big FU to the entire Democratic Party.
It is pardoning Trump.
Pardon Trump.
Yeah, and you know what? He should. Now, I said, if you wanted to like literally just castrate Trump, it would have been to pardon him of these supposed crimes and say, I want to face him one-on-one. I mean, Joe Biden would have that just would have taken a lot of steam out of his sails. Let's be honest. It would have hurt. There is so much to cover tonight, and
Can we put it off till tomorrow?
Yeah, we can. Tomorrow, but I got to show you one thing.
Okay.
And I got to play the music, even if I get hit for copyright.
Adjusting transmitter output.
I will fight it in copyright. Ah, screw it, I gotta play the
Who began to fix you was so bright? Told me but was so alive. Never kid on the whole street. It's gonna make it big and not be bit. Now that him old strike kicks on. Guess you try me till as I want. Like in one little street. So many lives. Shakes it strong.
So good. Folks, let me check the notes because I made a commitment. Trump analysis, Fox Kamala interview. Yeah, I got it. Belittlement of minorities. Here's the thing. If you have not had a chance, go over to the Don't Unfriend Me show on Facebook. It's on my website at thedumshow.com. And you can listen to the video that I did. Are you better off than 400 years ago?
That's good.
It will absolutely put some things in perspective about how the narrative that Republicans are racist, that Republicans are the party of racism and segregation is a complete lie. It challenges African Americans to continue the movement to break away from Democratic policy. I'll be honest with you, I'm waiting for an African American leader, a Hispanic leader, to rise up and say, screw Democrats, screw Republicans, we're creating our own party. I think that would be an amazing thing for people. And not to base it on ethnicity, not to base it on race, but I'll tell you what, no party has represented African Americans effectively from a policy standpoint and a social standpoint. For freedoms, for civil rights, absolutely. But when it comes to somebody stepping up and protecting the inner cities, cleaning the inner cities, helping businesses go in there, incentivizing businesses to go in there, to create jobs, to stop the railroad track mentality, neither party is doing it successfully. Go watch that show. Tomorrow night, is Thursday.
I will not be on.
Am I doing anything?
No, I have to take Hayden to do some last minute homecoming stuff. So I won't be on.
Okay. Hayden is going to homecoming. We have pictures of the entire event. It's going to be awesome. Thanks for watching. Folks, thank you for the donations.
I'll say one thing.
What?
Somebody made a comment earlier from the interview with Obama and how he told black men that they need to vote for Harris because she is black.
Yeah.
Can you imagine a white man standing up and saying, you need to vote for Trump because you're white? Can you imagine the shit we would get if that happened and how they would be called a racist?
Did you come up with that or did somebody else ask that?
No, somebody else said that.
Oh, it's fantastic. Well, of course. Like the video that I did today. That's why I said, hey, I'm a white guy telling you all about your suffering. But you know what? Enough of that shit. It doesn't matter whether you're white, you're black, you're brown. You get to have an opinion on anything that you want. I would just ask that people actually have a balanced approach. But you're absolutely right. If anybody, can you imagine if a man came up and said, vote for me because I'm a man. I pee standing up. You have to vote for me because I'm a man.
That's what Hillary tried.
That's what she's trying. This was brutal for her tonight. This will be played on.
Yenny has an opinion.
This cat. Yenny.
Can you hear her purring?
Yeah. Yenny.
Hi.
She's a cool cat, man. She's one of the best. We were going to get a dog, and we're like, you know what? We got a cat. We're good. We don't want her upset.
Thank you, buddy.
All right, everybody. Thanks for watching the Don't Unfriend Me Show. We'll see you tomorrow. Have a news article in the morning, and we'll see you at 7 o'clock Eastern. I had some fun tonight, so thanks, everybody.
Yeah, it was a great show.
Why did Matt sound so surprised that Olivia said something smart? Because it's part of the show. We're just kidding. Olivia, do you want to answer that?
Because my one brain cell only comes alive every once in a while. I don't say many things that are smart.
It's just a joke. We need to do a Yenny shirt.
Yeah, yes, we do. We need to do a Yenny shirt.
I'm going to do a Yenny.
Like the Don't Unfriend Me Show is the cat's meow, or just have her tail coming across the shirt. Or something. I mean, look at her. Hi. Hello.
She's a love. All right, everybody, we got to go see Tamara. Same time, same bat channel.
See you on Friday.
Thanks, everybody, for all your help, and thank you for the donations. Hope you had fun tonight. Good night.
Adjusting transmitter output.
This is the Don't Unfriend Me Show with your hosts, Matt, Leroy, Amy, and Olivia. Geopolitics, military analysis, and election coverage. Coming to you live on all major social media channels at The DUM Show. Honest, direct, unfiltered. We can agree, we can disagree. Just don't unfriend me.